fan of the Hauraki Big Show podcast? Make sure you check out more from Jase, Mike and Keyzie on their Instagram at Hauraki Big Show, or tune in to them 4 to 7 every weekday on Radio Hauraki. Thanks, mate.
Good on you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Your backbone.
I can already tell, Mogi, that I'm not going to make it through the show today without eating. I went to 3 different places before we started this podcast today, and in all 3 of them I was like, do I really want this? Nah.
But they're the only 3 options that you've got, though. So you can...
Oh, there's other options, but I don't like those either.
Do you like...
What were your 3 options?
I went down to the sushi place just
down there.
Which is
what you'll end up with, yep.
No, down across
in
the
the
road,
building,
which is different from the one I normally go to. And then I went to Subway, and I went,
Subway? I was that down there as
that's
well?
down there as
Yeah,
well.
right.
And then I went to Peter Pit, and I was like, too much cabbage.
So you end up with sushi.
No, I've ended up with nothing.
You've ended up with, but what you'll have
Do you
is probably...
think? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Because what you're waiting for is half-price sushi. That always wets your whistle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Hey?
But then sometimes it's stale. You know what I mean? And so...
You could pay full price.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah. I had some bad news today, guys.
Oh, no, what's happened, mate?
Can't park downstairs anymore.
Oh.
Jase is stoked.
Did you ruin that? How did you ruin
No, I'm not
that?
stoked.
Well, there's a new person on reception.
Yeah.
So I went ding-a-ling-a-ling,
Yep.
and the person said, hello. Yeah.
There, they
sort
do
of
that.
went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And said, well, actually, you're not allowed to park in here. You can park in here today, but that's the last time. So, righto.
Wow.
Yeah, because...
But
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, someone else will be on tomorrow and they'll let you in.
Well, the thing about it is, it's risky though, isn't it? What if that person's not going to be in?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, then
I told
that's
you
a pain in
yesterday.
the ass. That's a pain in the ass when that happens.
But I guess what's interesting about it is that there is room.
Yeah.
That's a precedent thing, isn't it?
Precedent? In what way?
Well, that if any old run-of-the-mill announcer thinks they can park in there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they would rather have them sitting empty.
Yeah.
But also, I think, given that I think if it was in the middle of the day when it's at its busiest, you've got lots of visitors coming in for meetings, etc., then it makes sense. But at our end of the day, there's bugger all going on.
Yeah, and people are often pissing off at our end of the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we go.
Well,
mate.
I've
had a good run, but at the same time, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm not paying for parking.
Right.
And I'm not taking public transport because I've got too much other shit to do in my life, you know? So I can't take an hour off to get buses and shit.
No, just Uber, mate.
Yeah, that'll be cheaper.
Just Uber it.
Don't you have an e-bike or something?
I tell you what you should do. Uber on the company account.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
You know what I mean?
They start getting those. Yeah, it's an event.
Speaking of the company, and speaking of car parks, walking home last night, bumped into the head of this company. Oh, Bogsy.
Oh, yeah.
Had a good chat with him going there, and it's quite awkward, isn't it?
Very awkward.
When you bump into someone in the street and it's like, oh, g'day, how you going, mate?
I wouldn't recognise him.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, well, he recognised me.
I got introduced to him at the Matt and Jerry thing.
Yes.
But I can't remember him.
Well, this is the weird thing, actually. Back in the day, Mogi, we used to have a monthly meeting with Bogsy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
As individuals?
Well, as a show.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know why that doesn't happen anymore, but it doesn't happen anymore.
I wonder why they did
Because
it.
Keyzie's keen. He was saying, I'd love to have a meeting with a big man
Any big man.
every month.
Well, to be honest, I was more thinking one-on-one, me and Bogsy.
Oh, look, I think I'd worry for you in that scenario, Keyzie, that you put your foot in it.
You know what's actually funny is when we do like a staff do here, and then everyone's quite drunk, and then we all go up to one of the bars around here, and then certain people get so drunk, and then Bogsy shows up, and they just punish him about stuff, and I'm with an earshot listening, going, "Oh my god!" And then he buys everyone a beer, and then just leaves straight away.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah,
that's the way to do it.
When people are steamed in your ear, it's not fun.
Nah.
Good call.
That's a great call, isn't it?
But he's a great man, actually, Mogi. You should, have a meeting with him. I'm sure you get on like a house on fire.
Oh yeah, well,
He's
I'm sure we'll have our chats, man.
Yeah.
At some point.
But
I don't think he's hanging out for a chat with old Mogi. So
you never know until you
oh,
you
maybe
find
he
out.
is.
Yeah.
Well, I
that's
got
what
introduced to him. He didn't seem like he was thrilled.
Right. Okay.
Well,
but that's
particularly
a bugger.
thrilled.
That's a bugger about your parking, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a fly in the ointment.
Because I remember before I got my car park, she was a real pain in the rectum driving around trying to find it. You see, Keyzie, he doesn't have a car park either, but he always seems to find a car park.
It's because there's shitloads of car parks everywhere.
Yeah.
There's literally this road.
Do you pay your fine? Do you pay your fees, Keyzie?
Yeah, I pay for parking.
Right.
But then if I have a podcast to do, if I have to come in earlier, I'll email reception and book a park. Otherwise, I pay for parking every day.
Yeah, right.
Good
How
on
much
you.
does that cost you?
Probably like $6-7 a day.
Really? For 3 hours?
No, you only have to pay till 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
sorry, till
surprising.
5. Till 5.
That is surprising to me.
Yeah, so I only pay till 5. So every day I'm pretty
Ah.
much sweat. And to be honest, I've been bringing it back to like 4:30 now because I've realised the car doesn't go past until about then. But yeah, when you compare it to how much it costs my wife, for example, to go on the bus.
wife!
Jase, come on, man.
No,
On the
we're
bus,
we're
yeah.
allowed one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, this is the thing about the bus. You think the bus and the train is cheap as chips. No,
It costs her $11 a day to catch the bus to work.
Really?
it's crazy, man. I couldn't believe it the last time I caught
Should
a
be
bus.
free.
I was outraged.
Should be bloody
it's a
free,
fortune.
man.
And so for me
Aren't
to pay for parking isn't even that expensive.
Aren't you in the sort of potentially the free loop?
What loop?
Huh?
What free loop are you talking
You
about?
know, Ponsonby sort of inner city. There's a free bus
It's,
that goes
it's
around.
not. It's not the cost.
It's the time.
It's the time. I don't have the time for that shit.
I thought you were e-biking at one stage.
I was at one stage, but it wasn't my e-bike. I
Right.
just borrowed it for a bit, and then it was coming into winter, and it's been pissing down every single day.
Yeah, pretty fun
So
though.
even then, I would not be doing it.
I
So
think
I
I'd
think I'll
probably
get
still
one
do
for
it.
summer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you would, Keyzie.
Nah, I've got really, really good rain jackets, and I'm always looking for an excuse to use them. Like I got sent about 5 MacPack rain jackets when I used to work for Sky, and the only time I've worn them properly was I went to Adele when it pissed down at Mount Smart Stadium, and I was bone dry.
Yeah, good
Nice.
stuff. Funnily enough, fellas, I asked my wife over the weekend whether we should get some some electric bikes, and she just pissed herself laughing, trying to imagine me on a bike.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not that funny.
What did you show that video of you riding bitch?
Yeah, exactly.
Macho, man.
Yeah, totally, man.
Macho.
I can't actually imagine you riding a bike. Oh no, like a penny farthing.
Keyzie.
What? No, like seriously. Like I'm trying to picture you on like a mountain bike. It just doesn't, or a BMX bike.
The Hauraki Big Show with Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie. The Hauraki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hauraki.
I'm going to wear my light.
BMX?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
that would be weird.
I'm going to wear my Lycra in tomorrow to give you a better image of what it would look like.
Oh please.
Um,
You can ride a bike though, eh?
Actually, quite honestly, a mate of ours
Have you got a license for riding your bike?
who lived just up the road said, "Oh, we're moving
At least
out,
Mike's not working, Keyzie.
and we want to get rid of our bikes. Do you guys want some bikes?" And my wife and I went, "Yeah, we'll have
remember
your
this.
bikes."
What
and
happened there?
And I got on the bike and cycled down my street, which is flat, and I was rooted after about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And there was a slight incline, and I was like, You
You have a dart in your
Giving
mouth.
it death, were you?
And seriously, I was embarrassed with how shit I was.
Yeah, sure.
So you think you'd be awesome immediately?
Well, I thought I'd
Oh, it's riding a bike,
be
isn't
reasonable.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. You can ride a bike though, right?
Yeah, I can ride a bike,
And
Keyzie.
Mike, you can ride a bike?
Nah.
I used to have a Raleigh 20.
Rich bastard.
Wow.
Yeah, flash, eh?
Do you have a chopper?
With a little basket on it and a little
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, my mum always had a Rally 20 as well, and chopper. Those the thing they used to always talk about having it.
I used to take my BMX down because we had a little setup in Rotorua. I used to take my BMX down there and do a few jumps and stuff.
Do you reckon you can still do it?
Yeah, totally, man. Totally, I
Oh
could.
my god, we decided we're going to do BMXing now.
A couple of launches into the air for
Yeah.
old Hoodie J.
Yeah.
No worries, man.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. We should get a hypnotist in
Why?
to hypnotise you.
Why? I'm not into it. I'm going to tell you right now.
I hate it as
I
well.
had a that's why we should do it. You think I want to do it?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know, but you're the one that's organising.
Well, no, I think it would be funny. That's what I'm basing it on. Not that I want to do it and be made to look an absolute fuckhead, but if we're all doing it, it's funny.
But what are we getting hypnotised over?
Oh, you fucking
You
cluck
hate,
like a chicken. Who cares?
you
Whatever.
hate cheese balls now.
Oh,
the only
that would be good.
I've
Cheese balls.
heard one.
No, you see, nah. And the only reason I say that is because I've had some bad experiences with hypnotists.
Oh yeah.
And my old mate Johnny Bruff there, we did a show with a hypnotist who was the dodgiest bastard I've ever met in my life.
I remember I did a show with once. It was sort of like an MC sort of thing, but there was a bunch of shit going on. There was comedians and fucking I can't swear. And what are the other things that people do? Magicians
Juggling.
and a hypnotist was on there. And I was sort of like, how is this? You know, it was sort of sitting in the green room, and then old mate, he finished up. We'd already been on, and then he came in. I was just sort of like, "What's the guts, man? Is this legit?" He had a guy loading his car,
Right.
and the guy loading his car, who was just a member of the audience, he was getting him to pack up all his shit and put it in the car. But the look on his face, we were like, I think he's hypnotized. I think he's hypnotized.
Yeah.
I think he's hypnotized him and he hasn't taken him out. And then he came back in, but the hypnotist came back in, but the guy didn't. But the guy came back in with his missus, and she looked completely off her head as well. And he was going. The boyfriend said, "Can you do something with her because she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't remember me at all. So have you done something and not gotten her out of this hypnotism?"
Oh, yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea.
And then he goes, okay, and he sort of sat down. He goes, okay, when you come to, and the green room was quite full. He goes, when you come to, all the men are going to have elephant noses and all the women are going to have clown noses. So, okay, and then she sort of come out of it. And then she started cracking up laughing, like looking at everybody's noses. And then she started freaking out because everybody had elephant noses and everybody had clown noses.
And were you in there? Because yours would have frightened the shit out of her.
And then she started freaking out, and then he put her under and then brought her back out and said, well, when you come out of this, you won't remember any of this. And then she came to and she saw her boyfriend. She's like, where have you been? And they left.
Mate, exact same story. The guy, he was a hypnotist, and Johnny and I were doing a show, and he was a hypnotist, and he got 5 or 6 people on the stage doing wacky shit, And then after the show, same scenario, we were in the green room, and there were like 2 or 3 women that had been hypnotized that came backstage, same thing, just in a really weird state, going, we don't feel right.
Yeah.
We don't feel right here, and blah, 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 blah. And one of them was bawling her eyes out, just freaking out about some stuff. But anyway, we were talking.
Probably because people got fucking elephant trunks.
We would, and he had the classic gold chains around his neck.
Yeah.
He was one of those sort of guys. And then he was telling us, I was going, can you sort them out, man? Because this isn't cool that they're getting quite distressed here. But anyway, he was telling us that he could ring any of the people that he hypnotized on the stage and immediately hypnotize them over the phone if he wanted to. And I was like, yeah, that's a bit dodgy, man. That's kind of dodgy. And he was like, no, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm just saying I could do that.
I could, and
they
I
would
would.
hear my voice,
And I have.
I could do that. And I was like, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Mogi. Let's do it.
Interesting that you say that that's the same story, because it is the same story.
Yes.
Johnny Bruff was over at my house today and he told me that story.
Oh, my God.
And I acted like it was my story, and I was shocked by how familiar it sounded to you.
Well, I have to admit that I was going, because I kept pointing at you going, yeah, same here.
Wait, so are you sure Johnny got it right,
So
though?
literally that story, well, I don't know.
Because he strikes me as a guy
right.
who would get the...
But you get a legit one. I don't know. I just think it'd be funny. I was talking to Johnny about this, and I think it's weird that the world operates, right? Everybody just carries on as if everything's normal, while knowing that you can hypnotize people and get them to do that shit. Isn't hypnotism just fucking weird?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just like, oh, you can hypnotize people. It's like, it's pretty out of it. It's pretty out of it. You can get them to think that someone's got a trunk.
Yeah.
Or you can ring them up over the phone and get them to do anything you want. It's like a glitch in a video game.
It's a cheat.
It's a cheat.
It is a bit of a process to get them there, though.
But Does that make it any less amazing? Then how the fuck did they work it out?
But yeah, that's why I go, yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't like the idea of not being in control of my own brain.
Well, that's what would be so great about it, Jase.
We could do Keyzie.
No, first of all, it won't work on me. Hang on. It won't work on me because I'm the biggest skeptic of anything. Like, I don't believe in anything.
Great guns on you.
I sit there thinking, because they've tried to hypnotize me before. It's like 3 times or something. And it just doesn't work because I'm sitting there going, this is bullshit, even though it's probably not bullshit.
Well, that's great, but that's a result in and of itself. But that is a result.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it works or not.
Well, exactly. It's the process that's interesting.
Yeah.
But the only thing I would like to be hypnotized for was an English comedian, Jack Whitehall?
Jack me off.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
yes.
Jack me off. He got hypnotized. Him and his mates all got hypnotized.
He's the one that went on tour with his dad, eh?
Yeah, that's right. He and all his friends got hypnotized into thinking that they had never read the Harry Potter books before. And then they read them all again and were like blown away by them over again. And I was like, that's a really good idea. So you could be hypnotized to think, I've never seen this amazing thing before, and then watch it. And
I wouldn't like to be hypnotized for that long.
No.
That's a long time. That's like, what's that, 9 months or something?
But also, don't they use hypnosis to stop you from smoking and just leave you?
They can, yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
So then at any point, you could just wake up and be like, wait, where have I been? Why am I?
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
I think it's an interesting thing.
Your Hauraki Big Show Keyzie word of the day is...
Nah.
Hypnotist.
Not keen. Hey, send all the Keyzie words into the Hauraki Big Show Instagram and your cell phone number. You could win prizes. Also follow us at Hoity J, Mr. Mike Minogue, Chris Key, NZ. Call me Pugs.
Thanks, mate.